What is up, and welcome to Ask DLF. We're after week 5. We are well into the season now. Lots of data points to talk about. A lot of different things going on in the NFL. We got some new quarterbacks, maybe new coaches in Carolina. What's going on over there? Was that going to make a difference? We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about today. That's why we're here at Ask DLF, to answer as many questions as we possibly can. If you are new to the show, thank you so much for joining us. And if you have a question, go ahead and use that chat box right there. YouTube is the best place to do so. And if you go ahead and click that like button, Addison over there, I think he said every time somebody does a like, he is going to do like a mile when he runs tomorrow, right? Something like that.
Jeez. Dude, I can't even tell you the last time I ran. Oh my gosh.
Let's see how many miles we can get Addison to run tomorrow. Let's make it over 100. Tyler is joining us. Tyler, you've seen Lewis Reed and Michael Jordan's flu game. Tyler is here. He's not feeling 100%, had some migraines, but he is toughing it out because he is tough. He's here for the people. He wants to make sure that he answers as many questions as he can. Nobody answers more questions than Tyler.
That's true. Nobody does.
Thank you for joining us. Your people appreciate it. And yeah, if Tyler has to bounce out, you'll know why. But yeah, thanks for doing this, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Yeah. If you watched my show yesterday on my channel, you saw how much of a disaster it was. I do feel better, but we'll see if my eyes, cooperate today.
But we are definitely going to do everything we can to get through. And if me and Addison have to take over, we will. And we'll. But for now, Ask DLF is brought to you by DynastyFootball.com. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, but also we are brought to you by, right? We're still brought to you by Addison. Should have asked you that before we got here. But Ask DLF is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog Fantasy now is the best time that there's ever been to play Underdog. Addison, have you played very much of it here recently?
I've thrown a few, like they're like revitalized like best balls or something like that, and then throw some of their like player pops in there too. So it's fun. I'll give you that. It's definitely one of the easiest ways to play fantasy football.
I played a bunch of it last season. I think if you're somebody watching this, you have an opportunity you pay way more attention to this than most people. I'm in a bad area of the country to be able to do this. I need my legislators to help me out, but I was able to last year because I was evacuated for a hurricane. So that was helpful in that situation to be able to do that. But if you join, you will get not only up to $10 Underdog will match, but also if you use the code, what's the code, Addison? Ask
DLF.
No, it's just DLF.
Yep.
Not Ask DLF. DLF. And you will get a free year subscription to DynastyLeagueFootball.com, the premium membership. You definitely want that. Without further ado, we got a question in here. Hour and a half early from Lounging Bear. What are some value targets at wide receiver for a competing team? And Tolbert and Bellinger in 1.5 tight end premium. Maybe he's curious if we should add those two. I like Bellinger. Bellinger is somebody that definitely impressed me this week, and has impressed me as a rookie tight end.
I did recommend drafting in the late in rookie drafts, but what do I know? Apparently, everything I say is always wrong. So I must know nothing.
What about some targets at wide receiver for a competing team?
Well, not Tolbert. He sucks. He's terrible. That's a pick that is wasted. You can cut him from Dynasty roster. You don't need him. Rad, what is there to keep him for? I don't know. For a competing team?
Zay Jones.
No.
Curtis Samuel.
Better.
Ooh, Mr. I'm still every single week leading my team in targets. Curtis Samuel. I like it. Yeah, absolutely. What else?
You want to buy DeAndre Hopkins? Now's the time.
Yeah. We actually did a show on it last week on the DLF trade show. Russ and I talked about some D-Hop trades and stuff on what you could do.
How is Russ doing these days? I haven't talked to him in a while.
He's fantastic.
He doesn't have any picks in Trade Addict 8, so I stopped talking to him because there's nothing for me to talk to him about.
Could you be convinced on some Alan Lazard pretty cheaply?
No.
Hmm.
I don't like
I
him.
tried.
You tried and you failed.
Anybody else? I think like in terms of let me ask you these. Just some. I'll throw some names out there for you if you think you can buy them at this point. What about buying? If you're thinking about a little higher, Deontay Johnson. I never feel like he has as much trade value as he has the potential to add to your team. What do you guys think about him?
I mean, we know that I love Deontay Johnson, but George Pickens is coming on strong.
He is. Is he past Deontay at this point in Dynasty?
Oh, we're getting very close.
We're very close, for sure. I would say whichever of the two is cheaper of those two right now, you could try to go for it. It probably would be Deontay. I would imagine.
And he's going to produce more over the rest of the year.
Probably.
Elijah Moore?
No, Elijah Moore is not even going to help you. You can't even start Elijah Moore.
That's so sad.
Could you bully someone into trading you Devontae Adams?
No.
Why not just trade for Gabriel Davis? It's the same player.
See what I did there?
They're the same? What's so similar about them?
They're week 5 stat lines.
Well, you know, that happens sometimes.
All right. Let's go here. Hopefully that helps you there. Lounging Bear, Austin. Are you guys buying Russell Wilson in Superflex? My QB room is presently weak. Watson, Lance, Daniel Jones. There's 4-1 Giants. What the heck is going on there? Davis Mills, Sam Howell in a rebuild, but the Russell owner is really looking to dump him. Yeah, that's somebody you can buy low. Should you, Addison?
I think depending on how low the low is, I'm definitely, buying into it more and more because I still believe that this Broncos offense is just one of those offenses that is taking time to figure some stuff out. We still know that the upside of Russell Wilson is maybe just a back end QB1 at this point, if not a very solid QB2. I still think, especially with the offensive weapons that he has, and if Nathaniel Hackett can figure out what the heck he's doing coaching wise, I still think this offense has upside. So I'm willing to buy in if it's anywhere around like, a mid to late first kind of value. I probably wouldn't pay that kind of pick straight up, but that's something I would try to do. Like if you can do like Daniel Jones in a second or something like that and buy Russell Wilson off of Daniel Jones's fantasy production the last week or so, then I'm all for that. Trey Lance in a second might not be the worst thing in the world to do either, just because at least you're getting production now and potentially still the better quarterback long term over the next couple of years. That's a little more dicey, but if the low is relatively low, I would buy.
Tyler?
Oh, you would?
I would.
I think not. When I have my dynasty team, I really like to have players on there who produce fantasy points. That's what I want. I want players who produce fantasy points. I also don't want players who suck and players who are obviously washed up and players who are owed a lot of money and don't do anything to deserve it and who have been overrated for years. And I don't really like having those players on my dynasty team. Those ones, we don't want them. Especially ones that are being outproduced by Geno Smith by a lot. And ones who like making excuses instead of, actually fixing things. So yeah, we don't want that on our teams. That just sounds very, very bad. So yeah, I'm not going to have that. I'll have someone else, but not him. I don't want him.
I still feel like they are going to find a way to right the ship. I think Russell Wilson is too talented of a player.
Can't be worse.
Do that.
Can't be worse than it's been. He's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. So it cannot be worse. There's a long way to go up because it's been so bad. It's been so bad. They're very lucky that they've won. The fact that they're 2-3 with a great defense, one of the best defenses in the league, and they're still 2-3. So that shows you how bad he must have been for them to only have won 2 games with the defense actually playing very well. He is putrid. And now he was putrid in the first 3 games, the ones where he didn't have a hurt shoulder. But now you think it's going to be better? it's going to be even worse. I don't know. I mean, the quarterback situation is really brutal in fantasy now coming up. I mean, like this week, if you're looking for quarterbacks to start, it's rough. I mean, I have Geno Smith ranked at 10. I have Jimmy Garoppolo at 12.
Just wait till next week when half of the top like 5 or half of the top 10 are on bye.
I have horrific Matthew Stafford at 13 because there's just no one else.
Yeah, it's rough.
I just look up on Trade Finder. Here's some trades that involve Russell Wilson recently. You guys tell me which side you would want. This is today. Russell Wilson for Zach Wilson, a 23 fourth and a 23 third.
Russ.
Would it be bad if I'd rather have Zach Wilson straight up over Russell Wilson?
Yes.
No.
Why? Why would it be bad? I just don't want Russell Wilson anymore.
The track record for Russell Wilson far exceeds what we have seen from Zach Wilson.
Well, I mean, but what about recently? That's the thing. What about recently? See, recently it hasn't been so good.
Okay, so have we ever recently seen a quarterback change systems like this and then like struggle at first, but then pull it together?
What about the rest of 2021? What about that? He wasn't so good. He wasn't so good.
Okay. Was Zach Wilson ever good?
No, but Zach Wilson's 11 years younger.
He's never been good. Time. So,
I mean, maybe he'll become good. I mean, Russell Wilson has been so bad. He's been better. Zach Wilson's been better than Russell Wilson this year.
4 days ago, Russell Wilson, a 24 second, a 24 third for Ryan Tannehill and Christian Kirk.
I don't really want Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I'd take Russ there too.
I guess I'll take Russ there, reluctantly.
4 days ago, Russell Wilson or Odell Beckham, a 23 second and a 24 second.
Oh, come on.
Here's how to buy Russell Wilson.
That's not a serious offer.
This is what he's going for. These are real trades. So that's why I think like the question here, you guys buying, like, I don't think it's ridiculous to think that, maybe you could buy Russell Wilson for something like that. Yeah. That's what. All right. Lounging Bear, current panic meter on Travis Etienne or Sky Moore. Let's start with Etienne. Go around the horn.
0. What? Why are we panicking?
The panic meter has dropped on Etienne significantly.
Yeah.
Yep. Your James Robinson people out there. It's getting dicier and dicier every week. I actually I had a tweet earlier today that if you take away James Robinson's 2 best runs on the season, that he is the exact same fantasy producer as Travis Etienne.
Great. So I'll take away. So good. I'll take away Tyreek Hill's long touchdowns, and then we can reevaluate the wide receiver position. It doesn't work that way.
I know.
You can't just take away things.
That's the only difference right now. Is that
but that's called being lazy.
People aren't asking what's the current panic meter right now on James Robinson, because James Robinson.
I don't understand why would we
have like 12 fantasy points in the last 2 weeks?
Why would we have panic on Travis Etienne after he just had a big game? It's a weird question. I don't get it.
Y'all were jumping ship 2-3 weeks ago, and now you're coming back. Been here this whole time.
To a degree, yes. To a degree, no. I mean, I think we see the reality, which is that this is going to be a committee forever. And that's the reality. That's the reality. This isn't Breece Hall and Michael Carter. Breece Hall is infinitely better than Travis Etienne, and James Robinson is infinitely better than Michael Carter. So this is going to be a committee forever. These are running back infinitely. Those like Breece Hall is like in a different universe.
That wasn't the one I was.
No, but that's reality. Breece Hall is in a different universe from these other players, and Travis Etienne and James Robinson to me are probably in a similar universe, which is a lot better than the universe that Michael Carter is in, which is that way, in the not good direction. So, like, this is going to be a committee forever because these are similarly talented players. Similarly talented. It's going to be a committee, and that's what it is. And it's probably going to be game script dependent a lot of the time. And, that's fine. And, you just have to understand that that's what you're getting here. If there's an injury, then one of whoever is not injured could do what James Robinson did the last 2 years. But they don't want that. They don't want that because in the NFL, when you give someone everything, they often get injured. And neither James Robinson, who, by the way, got injured multiple times, both of the last 2 years, or Travis Etienne, who has had injuries and is not really built for 20 carries a game, is someone who should get all the work anyway. So, just know what you're buying.
Travis Etienne only had 13 touches this past week. Let's calm down. And it was against Houston. 31st.
Infinitely better on those touches than Jordan Howard was on his.
Way better than Jordan Howard, 100%.
I was looking.
Right.
I was looking at. He was infinitely better than Jordan. I was looking at 2019 Eagles because I was trying to compare. Like I was doing a Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard thing. I had Jordan Howard in my head.
But James Robinson has looked better than him in games too, so we can't throw those out just because we like the
similarly. That's what I said. They're similarly talented players who will form a committee because that's what you do. And you have similarly talented players, you should form a committee. I don't see why this is so hard. That's so obviously what's going to happen.
Oh, Sky Moore. Are we panicking on Sky
Moore?
Oh,
10 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Panic meter is at 10, is at the maximum because he's done nothing at all. What is there to say positively? So maximum.
Another tweet I saw, this is not mine, this was somebody else's, that said that the Chiefs are treating Sky Moore similarly to how they have every other rookie, including Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman, and that they just don't really do anything in year one with Andy Reid. They're more punt return stuff at the very beginning, and then they gradually work their way into the offense.
Oh, it's interesting you mentioned that, actually. If I remember correctly, Kareem Hunt was just fine as a rookie.
Wide receivers.
Well, I mean, if he were really so good, I think he would get on the field a little bit more. But he's clearly not that good. He clearly could be better. So I don't know about that. Let's see what happens.
He's getting targeted actually on a fairly high percentage of his routes run.
It's yes, the minimal routes that he runs, he's actually accomplishing something. But the problem is that he's not running any routes. So he must be doing something wrong because he's not getting on the field. So that's no good.
Jim Riley, 12-team PPR, non-superflex, relying on CMC and Jeff Wilson at running back. Akers on my bench. Would you give a 23 first for Travis Etienne, who we started talking about there, currently third in the league, but a bit lucky. So would like to upgrade on the roster somehow. Addison, would you give a 23 first for him?
No. I'm taking the 23 first easily over Etienne. Yeah, but I said that before the season started too, so nothing's changed there.
Tyler?
Yes, take the 23 first.
Drew Hudson,
did we even do these? Did we do these?
I didn't see it come through.
All right.
I didn't either.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
Eric wants to put some respect on Jacoby Myers. I love Jacoby Myers.
I don't dislike Jacoby Myers.
He's never going to be a super valuable dynasty asset, but I think he's just one of those that's he when he's on the field, he gets targets, he produces.
He has like a stink about him, though. There's something people don't like.
Yeah. Yep.
Would you trade a 2023 mid first for 2 2025 firsts?
No.
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 I'm surprised somebody has 225 firsts. That's pretty interesting.
That is kind of odd. Yeah. It's what I would say no.
Keep the 23.
Yeah.
We did that. How much do I need to add to Kenneth Walker to get a wide receiver like Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins, or Jalen Waddle?
A first.
I love the thinking. If you can do it for less than a first, that's what I'd be trying to offer. And if you can pull it off, do it. Offer Walker and like a couple of seconds and see if you can get either one of those three. If you can, awesome. If not, that's not the kind of trade I'd want to make. I wouldn't want to give up my first. Would you?
No. I would keep the Kenneth Walker in the first side if that's the price for him. But I do agree. If you can buy for anything less, I'm all for it.
Murph for the super chat. What's up, Murph? Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Tyler.
No, go ahead. Oh, I mean, with Lamar, Watson, and Hurts on the same team, also Jimmy, I know now is not the time, but when the time comes, which quarterback would you sell? What would be your determining factor? Well, I don't know.
Whichever one gets me more.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would always want to sell Watson, but yeah.
Of the three, Watson would be the guy that I would like to sell the most to.
The week Watson comes back would be a good week to sell him because then you don't have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or if you wanted to hold through, the end of the season, because people are going to make the excuse of, well, he's coming back first he hasn't played in a year.
Yeah,
and a
you'll
half,
be able
and
to sell Watson in the offseason.
There's going to be a massive sell window for Deshaun Watson if you don't want him on your team.
Eric wants to know who my 101 is. Is it Taysom Hill or Josh Allen? And we all know it's Taysom Hill. Duh. All right. Taysom Hill. We might as well talk about his role. He's had, 4 touchdowns?
Addison, did you put Taysom Hill on the thumbnail?
No, I'm going to, though.
Okay.
He'll be
On what?
He might be all three. Might be all three
I put
players.
Taysom Hill as the solo player on my show's thumbnail.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3 tight end right now is Taysom Hill. Travis Kelce, number 1, like by a long shot. Mark Andrews is after him, like about 20 points. That's in standard. Hang on, let me change this. Sorry.
I think it's dumb that he is just a tight end. I think that they should create a new position for him that's just like offensive player, and you're allowed to put him in any slot you want to.
Yes, genius. I love it. Okay, and PPR is actually 7th. So still Kelce by 10 points there, the position. Andrews, Hawkinson, Ertz, Goddard, Higbee, Taysom Hill.
Dang, dude. And he has like 3 receptions?
Right.
What I would say, 69 in the chat. What I would say is that the tight end position is just horrible. Yeah.
Taysom Hill or
Kyle Pitts.
I will say this week, if Kyle Pitts comes back, I'm starting Taysom Hill over him. I have this week, I think Taysom Hill's ECR is too low. I have ranked him at tight end 10. Let's go.
Like tight ends that get goal line carries. I mean,
I will say I do enjoy tight ends that get goal line carries. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that why you like Daniel Bellinger? Now we know.
Yes,
why you
I do.
That's right.
But I just really like Daniel Bellinger, A, because he's a giant, and B, because I get to be right about something. But whatever.
Can you pull that super chat up that just came up?
All right. 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium. If you're gonna tear down from JT for a running back and a wide receiver, who are some good targets? Well, a running back. I don't know if you get what running back and wide receiver you're gonna get. I mean, could you get DeAndre Swift and Garrett Wilson? It's too late for that. Probably, right? That's probably, you're not going to get that anymore.
I was trying to see if you can get, if the wide receiver is more the premium asset and your running back's like a Leonard Fournette or somebody like that. Do you think
could you get Jalen, Waddle, and I don't know,
Fournette?
Damien Pierce.
Oh,
there you go.
Not the worst deal.
Yeah, something like that. Those are some ideas.
How high? So Damien Pierce is immediately who I thought of on this. And I was listening to the DLF Dynasty show this past week where
I did listen to that one
about maybe him being a top 10 Dynasty running back.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No, I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson with this. I learned my lesson. Unless you're drafted on day 1 or day 2, you cannot be a top 10 Dynasty running back until you survive your first offseason as the unquestioned starter with no problems. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson the hard way.
Why was there no talk about this last year when Elijah Mitchell was doing his thing? Why was he not talked about as a top 10 Dynasty running back? But now Damien Pierce is.
Damien Pierce is better.
Well, nah.
No, I don't know that. I think the Shanahan thing factors in there some, but I also like the biggest.
Damien Pierce was a better prospect than Elijah Mitchell.
That you might as well be stabbing Addison right now.
No.
I mean, he was. He just didn't get that much work, but he was good on the work he saw.
On film, sure, but analytically, he was not for sure.
He looked better than me. I was more excited for Damien Pierce than I ever was for Elijah Mitchell coming in.
Well,
and I'm more excited for what I've seen from Damien Pierce than what I've seen from Elijah Mitchell. Plus, the other thing is that you have to remember that Elijah Mitchell was not supposed to be their starter. Raheem Mostert was. Raheem Mostert was their starter, and then he got hurt, and then it became Elijah Mitchell. It's just that happened in the first 2 plays, so people don't remember that of 2021. Whereas Damien Pierce was, ended up being the starter all along.
Okay, but let's talk about this. Okay, so I know like top 10 sounds crazy, but if you had Najee Harris and you offered him straight up for Dameon Pierce, would that get accepted?
I'd keep Najee Harris, and I think most people would too.
I would rather. That is not even anywhere. I need
I don't think
first.
you could make that deal right now.
I think you can. I don't think people are. The thing with Najee Harris is the Steelers they're not going to bring in someone ahead of Najee Harris.
Right.
I don't think until they're done with his rookie deal. So I think you have this year and 2 more of Najee Harris being the starter. Now, could Jalen Warren get more work as time passes? Yes. But Najee Harris is going to be the starter. And if the team doesn't suck, he's still going to be fine. Whereas Dameon Pierce could be out of a job at any time.
Right. I just know top 10 sounds crazy, but I just think when you look at like Austin Eckler is going to be 28 and a half next year.
I also think like you
Dallas
have to
be 28.
You have to understand like you should be careful with running backs. I've learned a couple things with running backs. One is that we're all valued too high. So that's one thing I've learned. And the second thing I've learned is that, it's okay to take a little more of a short-term view with running backs, mostly because I moved all of them down. So the ones at the top moved down more, and those happen to be the younger ones. So now they're all closer together.
Would you trade JT for Ramondre Stevenson and Deebo Samuel?
Yes, I would.
Yes.
Ramondre Stevenson and Garrett Wilson?
No.
No.
Ramondre Stevenson and T. Higgins?
Yes. Okay. That's the best of all the
you
deals
left.
we talked about.
Garrett Wilson was the odd man out. That was the one of these guys is not like the others, at least at this point.
Temperature check. That's I got to find one. Someone both sides. Oh shoot! Hang on. I'm still here. I didn't go away.
Are you?
There we go. Eric says DLF Jr. is out of town with a wife, visiting her family in Clinton, Mississippi. I've been solo since Sunday. It feels weird being alone. I always hate that, especially, like that, especially right after having a baby. Like you're so used to somebody being around all the time. Like the quiet gets like weird. It's like, what is happening?
How does that ever happen for you though? Don't you have 4 kids?
I do. And anytime that I don't have anybody in the house with me, like they're all at school and my wife's working or whatever, like I'm like, it is like quiet usually with like a bunch of kids means like somebody's in trouble. Somebody did something they shouldn't do.
Or somebody's severely injured.
I need to go check on something. And so it's just so weird. So I get it, Eric. And yes, dude, I did not know you were so close. I'm going to be in Denham Springs. Hit me up on Instagram because I think that's the only place you have a thing. And we need to meet up. I'm going to be in Denham Springs this weekend. If you're still there, that'd be awesome.
DLF Jr.
Was Addison here for that? Were you here for that when he was?
I don't think so.
It was like a countdown every week. He was asking us questions, and his wife was progressively getting more and more pregnant, and then the baby was born, and it was great. It felt like it was a part of
the show. Was in the background during labor, and, like they put it up on. He screencasted it on the TV.
Right, pretty much. Divagoon 10 team Superflex PPR start 11. I punted this season. I acquired a guy's first week 1, and he's 0-4 on tilt. He offered me his Chase. Hopefully that's Jamar Chase for my 201 and 102, which is his first back. I'll still have my 101. Is that a smash accept?
Take Chase.
Yeah. I would be that person to be like, no, I'm not adding my second. You're giving me Chase for that first.
I think I would want that too.
You would be that person.
I mean, I would do the deal, but I'm just like, no, you're not getting.
No.
If you really want
to do third or something, yeah. Negotiate. He wants him. He wants the first back. Henry says, smash that like button, everyone. He's a legend. And if we do things that he does, we become legends too. So smash the like button. And Addison's going to have to run further if you do it. Henry, I sure wish I had taken Dameon Pierce at 202 instead of listening to everyone who told me to take David Bell and that Pierce would be another Michael Carter and be replaced next year.
Who told you that?
Hashtag Addison.
Sorry, Henry.
Oh, Addison.
I love David Bell too. I was all on that train. So
I feel like David Bell has just kind of like been in the background. Like I
He's
haven't, for
just
some
been there.
reason, like I haven't like punished him in my rankings. Like I've punished other players, but he hasn't done anything at all.
He's surviving. He's doing his thing.
You know.
I got Peter Howard's 23-second for him right before the season. And I'm feeling great about that.
Yeah. Well.
Henry just dropped Taysom Hill from my FFPC Dino team last week after drafting him with my last startup pick, Cy. I can't tell you how happy I am that it's Taysom Hill week. This is so great.
Yeah.
Mike, Superflex 12 team, start 10, rebuilding, trade Ramondre for Alec Pierce plus a 23-second.
Yep.
I feel like Ramondre should actually bring you back more than that.
Me too.
But if it's this or nothing, I would take it.
Yep.
I like Alec Pierce.
I think
but-
Ramondre for a second
Yeah.
itself is fair. So you're getting a
No,
shot
Ramondre is
on-
worth way more than that.
Eh.
Especially not with
Damien Harris can
Harris
miss
and
4 weeks, and they finally
opportunity.
found a running back that can give 90% of the snap share to at some point.
Mhm.
Nah.
So Ramondre is worth more than that, than the second alone. But
Todd Radmaker, what's the most valuable fantasy football lesson you've learned thus far this season? Good question.
I mean, I could answer this,
Ooh,
but
this season.
I think my answer will be more of a hilarious answer.
Go for it. I want to hear it.
And it's
You
not
sure?
making me want it less.
Yeah, you sure,
Keep it.
Addison?
Keep it PG-13.
I can't.
Oh, sadness.
If you want the PG-13 version, it goes something along the lines of there's always going to be people who don't like you. In my case, a lot of them. Just pay less attention to those people and more attention to the people who do like you.
My lesson is quarterbacks are massively necessary in Superflex leagues. I think the time of being able to survive with 2 QB2s who have spike weeks gone.
Addison, you just learned this now?
I'm just like it's been reoccurring every single like for the past like couple years of just
literally
like
said
is
this
pushing,
all
this is
offseason,
pushing, this is
bro.
pushing. And then now it's just like if you don't have like I always wanted one of those guys, but my strategy has always been one guy plus a Kirk Cousins, one guy, you know, something like that. And I just want 2 guys and I'm done. And that's it. Then you can forget about it for the next 10 years and you're good. That's why I incorporate that into more than just the past 5 weeks, but that's been like a every single month that goes by drives that more and more home.
I think Saquon is probably responsible for the lesson that I feel like I've taken away more than anything. Like sometimes these elite, physical specimens like him, like, you think about it, he didn't have the same kind of bounce back that an Adrian Peterson had after his ACL, obviously. But I think with the damage that was done, I think underestimating him being able to get back to 100% was probably like a lesson learned on some of these guys that are just a little bit different. Maybe don't write them off as quickly, or, we hadn't seen 2018 Saquon Barkley since 2018, basically. Right. So it was not like thinking about him in that sense is probably the most valuable lesson for me, because I should have ended up with more of him than I did.
Wild. What a wild thought.
Is this supposed to be my fault?
No. I mean, like, I did not think we were getting that version of Saquon back. Like, and I was sad about it. I wasn't happy about it. I was sad about it. Like, I love
That, to be fair, that process, the one of it's been a long time, that player probably sucks, has been right more often than it's been wrong this year, with Allen Robinson and Juju being the 2 biggest examples of that player is probably actually washed up, being the 2 headliners for that process. But there have been other players where it's just like, maybe I should have listened to that even more. Michael Thomas is another one where like that player has just not delivered.
Eric, what percentage of our fab are we dropping on Benjamin in redraft?
I mean, I think James Conner's going to play through the injury.
I was gonna say I'm not running to
like
the
James
waiver wire
Conner
for
is far
Eno.
from like ruled out. So and Benjamin is still going to split. Did Daryl Williams get hurt too? I know they signed Corey Clement.
Well, never mind.
I don't know
Yeah,
if Corey
no,
Clement
they
is an
signed-
indicator that Darrell Williams.
Yeah,
is an
Daryl
active-
Williams sustained a knee injury, and Jonathan Ward had a hamstring issue. So they signed Corey Clement to the team to reinvigorate the running back room.
I think Benjamin is kind of a must add, and like in Dynasty, like if Kyron Williams somehow got dropped, and that's somebody to go add, because this is twice now James Conner has dealt with some kind of a little nagging issue, and yeah, even if he plays through it, this is a long season. Like it to me just feels like the likelihood of him missing some time feels almost inevitable right now, and I think having one of these guys, probably gets the first shot if he's healthy, so he's somebody I'd want, no doubt.
Yeah, but I think there are going to be better opportunities in redraft, or there have been better opportunities. I mean, Kenneth Walker is on some waiver wires. There was when Jeff Wilson was available earlier. And in recent weeks, I mean, there have been other opportunities that I feel like have been better. This is not, I think James Conner is either missing one game or zero.
Right.
And even if he misses, he hasn't been all that great. I don't think, Benjamin's actually better. And he's still going to split work with somebody. So you're looking at, if James Conner misses, you're looking at what? RB. I mean, this week is against Seattle. Okay, a pretty good matchup. But you're still looking at RB 24?
Spot starter.
Yeah.
That's a 10 to 15%er for me.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, he's rostered in most redraft leagues.
I just think there's a chance he could end up with a 5-game stretch later in the season or something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I just think like he's somebody I'd want to have on my bench in that.
He's not high on the list for me because of that list. Like, it's the kind of thing where like he doesn't become a workhorse no matter what. Whereas like, because remember when James Conner went down the first time, Daryl Williams came in and just became James Conner, and Benjamin's role barely increased.
Right.
So that kind of player is more like Jalen Warren. If Najee Harris were to disappear, Jalen Warren would get everything.
Everything.
If Alexander Mattison, if Dalvin Cook were to disappear, Alexander Mattison will get everything or close to it. He'd get what Dalvin Cook is getting. You have those teams where the backup would become the starter. Then you have teams like Arizona where Benjamin kind of has his role, and then there's another player who would fill in for a lot of the starter's role. So I'm less interested in handcuffs in those situations. And then you have the third type of backfield like Jacksonville, where there's two players that matter, but there's nobody else. So if either one went down, the other one would get everything. So you have those kind of backfields. So there's a few different types. Green Bay is another one where I feel like is kind of in that area. If one of Jones or Dillon went down, the other would get close to everything because there's no one else that they trust.
RPO Sports Cards, would you rather have in Dynasty Amon-Ra St. Brown or Chris Olave? Let's stop there and answer that one first.
Amon-Ra. Yeah, he's a much bigger track record so far.
And is Kenneth Walker and a late second too much to pay for either one of those?
No.
For Olave, that's probably about right. That's about fair.
Not too much.
For Amon-Ra, it's not
enough.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if I could pay Walker in a second for Olave, I would do it.
Right. I was just going to say the
go
same
to
thing.
Olave.
I'd take Olave.
And I think you can get that done.
James Flatley Waller on bye. Start Taysom Hill or Hayden Hurst in week 6.
I actually want to go with Hayden Hurst.
Boo.
No, Hayden Hurst was very involved in the offense.
I was going to say, if T. Higgins doesn't play this week, that's even more.
But even if he does
more
play,
towards
he
Hurst.
Played last week.
Right.
So, yeah, Hayden Hurst. And he's been involved the whole season no matter who's been playing.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to put Hayden Hurst in there.
Sorry, Cal.
The Saints have been very stingy to tight ends.
I understand, but Hayden Hurst, I feel like, has been involved every week, no matter the matchup. He he had a bad game against the Jets. So it's like his one bad game was against the Jets. So like, I don't know how dependent it is on the matchup.
Let's see. I don't think you should pay a plus on K9 to get Olave. Ooh, okay.
I mean, yeah.
K9. I had not heard that nickname. Is that what we're going with for Ken Walker?
I've heard it, but
K9.
it's not my preferred.
Ed in the chat, just wanted to shout him out. I skipped over a couple of his comments, but he's in here. He says, Todd's lesson for me this year, never stop grinding. I refuse to let other managers outwork me or other people in the chat. He's answering a ton of questions and not getting outworked in there too. Great job, Ed. Jaden Sharp, 12-team Superflex. I have 23 first. Wow. Should I trade Schultz, a 23 first and 24 first for Pitts? First of all, first part of this probably doesn't matter. Don't just trade it just because you have extra ones.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
But is that good value for Pitts?
Yes.
I'd rather have the picks side.
It's fine. I'd still take Pitts.
How about who that dude says finally Kamara woke up from the dead? Alvin Kamara.
He was never dead, but
He was just injured.
He's still, he still concerns me. And in Dynasty, I would still sell. You still have the suspension hanging over his head, which I do think is happening next year.
Mm-hmm.
8th running back this past week, Alvin Kamara. And
you finally got the receiving workload.
Yeah, that was the thing. He finally got
that
receiving
back.
work.
Yeah.
Which with Andy Dalton, I think that's expected to continue.
Yeah, but also
right?
it came with Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry out and Chris Olave leaving the game with a concussion. So it's not surprising that this is the week that receiving work happened.
TDSD, ETN, or Dobbins. Who do I trade? I have Eckler, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker. Wanted to package Deontay Johnson and ETN or Dobbins and get an upgrade at wide receiver. See, people are like down on Deontay. Always.
Yeah, I would rather have. I'd rather keep ETN.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that because that's what my answer was. But I know you don't like Dobbins, but I wasn't sure how much the committee in Jacksonville was going to affect it.
I don't like Dobbins at all.
I would trade whichever one gives you the better wide receiver.
I mean, if Dobbins can't command that workhorse share, even with all the backups out, it's over. He needs everything.
They're not all out. Kenyon Drake is still playing.
Great. Who cares? Drake was inactive the week before. So that's the inactive the week before and now is in a committee. Won't work. J.K. Dobbins has to get everything. In that offense, he has to have everything. Unless he has everything to me. So when I say everything, good question. What does everything mean? Because nobody gets 100% other than really Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley these days. They get 90+%. Nobody else does. What does everything mean? To me, everything is 70% or more. 70% or more. I want to see 70% or more snap share, 70% or more of touches. Anything higher than 70%, I would consider to be everything. Well, close enough to everything. You're only really coming out for a breather. It's not like someone else has a role. You're getting everything and everyone else is just your backup. Mm-hmm. J.K. Dobbins is never going to get that. So if he's never going to get that, then he's never going to be that helpful. He's not going to be a difference maker. Even this week with all of the buys and a matchup against, the Giants. I still only have him at running back 20. With the buys and playing the Giants, I have him at running back 20. So that's his ceiling.
Let's see what the line is. Travis Etienne and Deontay Johnson or Stephon Diggs?
Etienne and Johnson. I have Johnson a lot higher than almost anyone else.
It's really close.
How about if it's Dobbins and Deontay Johnson or Stephon Diggs?
Like, it's basically my answer to this is like, if you're talking to the guy who has Jalen Waddle or T. Higgins or Amon-Ra, and they're like, I would take Deontay and Dobbins, but you offer them Deontay and ETN, then I would just do whichever one that they would prefer.
Sure.
That would be the way I would go about it.
Okay. Nicholas in the house says, "What's up, Dynasty Football?" What's up, Nicholas? Appreciate you tuning in. Nicholas says he traded away Alvin Kamara and his rebuilding team. Gave Kamara, Peoples-Jones, and a 23 third for a 23 first, 24 second, and Zamir White. Do we like it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
Kamara
it.
for the first. Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like it.
Ridley Truther, recovering Ridley Truther. Yo, my people, what's up? Appreciate you tuning in here. On a general 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium contender is Ramondre, a similar but cheaper buy than Kenneth Walker. Similar production, but hopefully less than a first.
Certainly cheaper. The production for the rest of the season might be similar, but I think that Kenneth Walker has the upside to be a workhorse back long term, whereas the Patriots, we know that they will find someone else to at least take something. And I do like that they will turn to Ramondre Stevenson to have everything if everyone else is out. I do like that. We've actually never seen them do that before. So that is a good sign for Ramondre Stevenson. But if Damien Harris were healthy, he'd get half the work. And when Damien Harris walks, there's going to be another Damien Harris.
Yep.
They're not going to go into the season. Ramondre Stevenson's upside is to be a weekly RB2 with RB1 upside if the new Damien Harris gets hurt. That's his upside. Whereas Ken Walker could be a running back 1 every week without needing anyone to get hurt or without needing any issues. So,
and for a while, like he's
for a while, I mean, he was a rookie.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. So yeah. I would, but see, I don't even know if I would pay a first for Kenneth Walker because he's not really, it's kind of the thing where it's like these running backs. It's like, I don't really, when it comes to paying up for running backs, I'll pay up for Taylor or Hall, and that's really it. I don't really
him and
want
Brees
to pay.
also have not yet turned 22. Those guys are young. Those are
I don't really
guys
want to
on my
pay.
team.
Like the next running back that I could see myself kind of investing in after JT and Hall at their price, it's someone I actually kind of like a little bit, is I could see this some still stink around him. See some investment in Josh Jacobs because people still don't like him. And I think that he has a decent NFL career ahead of him. I'm still not going to throw a first at Jacobs, but I'd rather, if it's 2 seconds for Jacobs or a first for Walker, I'd probably just pay the seconds or whatever. I'd probably just pay the 2 seconds for Jacobs instead of paying a first for Walker.
Josh Jacobs, by the way,
if they're both the same price, I'd still take Jacobs.
Well, I don't agree with that because I think that Walker is locked into a much better situation long term. Whereas Jacobs is, we don't know anything. Once a running back gets to free agency, it's a risk because you don't know that they're going to get a good job. And the Raiders may or may not retain him.
Josh Jacobs right about a month older than Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, no, Josh Jacobs is February 98, I believe. What, February something? February 98, I know that.
Lamb, Etienne, or AJ Dillon and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Which side are you taking?
Well, assuming this is
Lamb
Dynasty, I'll take Lamb and Etienne. I'd rather have Lamb over Amon-Ra and Etienne over AJ Dillon.
Yep, agreed. Of those backup running backs, I like Etienne.
It's crazy. Lamb has taken is my wide receiver 3 in Dynasty again.
14 teams, Superflex start 9, tanking this year, have 7, 23 first, 5, 24 first. What do we feel comfortable giving up for a young stud receiver like Drake London to maybe snag him while he isn't red hot?
I don't feel a need to trade my picks for players, but for London, it's the kind of thing where it's like if I had an older player, I would look to package the older player to get London.
I would find which one of your firsts is going to be later and offer that up.
Yeah, could do that.
You're muted.
I think we also agree he's worth a 23 first, a random one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Probably a first and a second, to be honest. I wouldn't pay 2 first, but if you had to add, if you had one of those first and it was like, this is a contender's first and you need to add a little something extra to juice it up, I'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, in Superflex, the list of wide receivers I'm paying 2 firsts for is Justin Jefferson,
Small.
Jamar Chase, end of list. So
Jacoby Myers is quietly having himself a year, by the way. Another great contending wide receiver piece. I agree with that. He's somebody that if you're a contender, thinking about a cheap wide receiver, going back to our question from the jump, Jacoby Myers is somebody we should have thought of.
yeah.
On the cheap side, for sure.
Is Kelsey worth a 23 first if you're competing just for the
Yes.
positional advantage?
I
Yes.
guess so.
Yes, he is.
I mean, flags fly forever. He's the one that I'd go out and get if I were you, for sure.
It's funny. He actually looks better this year.
Because he's the only target.
I may be part of it.
I would, if you have that 23 first, I would first offer it for Mark Andrews. If they say no, then go to Kelsey.
That's not a bad idea. I have a team where I'm 3-2. I tried all offseason to trade Kelsey for a first. I was unsuccessful. And now I'm kind of like, do I just roll
probably
with it now?
keep Kelsey.
Yeah. But I'm going back and forth because I'm still not sure that team's good. We'll see. Ron T, would you guys trade Rashad Bateman for Jacoby Myers, Cole Kmet, and a 23 mid-third?
No.
I'll take Bateman.
That's an easy Bateman.
Yeah, it's not enough. One of the guest hosts were saying Elijah Moore would be a top 10 dynasty wide receiver after this year. That prediction not looking so good. That was Ryan McDowell, who had him ranked as the 10th overall wide receiver in dynasty.
Oh no.
I remember him saying in that podcast that he thought that Elijah Moore was going to be a second round dynasty startup pick next year.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, that does seem rather unlikely at this stage.
Such a weird start to the year for the Jets.
Sadness.
Elijah Moore is so frustrating because I know he's good. I know he's good, but it doesn't.
And it sucked too because he got solid target share with Joe, like not target share, but he got raw target numbers with Joe Flacco for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just that Flacco threw 50 times a game. So when you throw 50 times a game and you get 7 targets to Elijah Moore, that looks good for Moore, but it looks bad comparatively to the rest of the team.
Although his snap share was reduced in the last game.
Interesting.
But I don't know if that means anything.
Jalen Hurts or Mr. Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
Yeah. I was going to say Khalil Herbert, but
Justin Herbert, I have not lost any faith in. It's been a little bit of a weird opening to the season for the Chargers. Has it not? I mean,
I feel like it's this like literally every year for the Chargers is just like this one. This is like,
I mean, to be fair, Justin Herbert has the almost identical completion percentage, almost identical yards per game, and a higher passer rating, almost identical yards per attempt and adjusted yards per attempt as last year. The only difference is that he's throwing less touchdowns. So might be someone to keep an eye on because he has 10 touchdowns through 5 games, whereas last year he had 38 and 17. So he was throwing a lot more touchdowns last year, but all the other numbers are the same. Everything else almost identical to the nose, but the touchdowns are down. So that screams a player who's still good. He's 10 touchdowns with 2 interceptions. It's not like he's been bad or anything.
Yeah, of course. It's just when you're Jalen Hurts, if you have that and you're missing touchdowns, you're still getting everything else, and you still have
it
great
does
fantasy player. So I'll take Jalen Hurts.
If you have Justin Herbert, you really have not gotten a week winning performance from him,
right?
Even though he's been good. So I would consider not giving up on him and maybe looking just in case if there's any window to buy him, because I think you're buying a Hall of Famer at 23 years old, 24 years old. So.
Especially when Sean Payton's his coach next year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Don't tase me, bro.
But just to give the people an idea, he does have some good games in the back half of the season. There's games against Seattle, Atlanta, there's one against the Chiefs, Arizona, the Raiders, the Dolphins, and the Titans. That's a 5-game stretch.
You just gave me a video idea, Tyler. I love you.
Yeah.
for second half players to buy right now that are going to
Especially players who have been good, but the touchdown regression hasn't been on their side.
I'd rather buy Hurts. Look at his schedule too.
Can't buy Hurts, though. You might have to pay more for Hurts.
Would you rather give up a late 23 first and a 10-team half PPR non-super flex for Fournette, or a late 23 second for Raheem Mostert?
I would not rather do either of these. I can't see myself doing either of these things.
I agree. Man, I can't do either one of those.
There's no chance I'm giving up a first for Leonard Fournette. There's like, I might as well light it on fire. I feel like I can't do that. No way.
Target Kenneth Walker instead.
Could you give up that first and second and get Nick Chubb?
You could try.
All they can do is say no. That's my strategy for trade offers is all they can do is say no.
I have Andrews and Ertz in Dynasty. Would you feel comfortable starting a tight end in your flex this week?
Ooh.
Sure. I mean, depends on versus what, but
right.
Sure.
I need to see the other players that are like these two are fine. Like, I mean, Andrews is an every week starter, and Ertz could be an every week starter. But who do you have at flex? You know?
And if this is the situation you're in, like with all the bye weeks coming up, it tells me you probably need to add some depth. Because comfortable, no. Like tight ends do not score well. So no, I'm not comfortable starting a tight end in my flex. Unless I don't have another option, sure. But
if you don't have anyone else, then sure.
Yeah. There's worse two tight ends to play.
Sure. Kid Coop, Avery Williams scored this week. Falcons cornerback converted running back. Not gloating yet for calling that unless he takes over the backfield. But would you rather have him, DJ Dallas, or back from the dead somehow, Diami Brown, 12-team PPR, basically Gabe Davis over there.
DJ Dallas.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Would you sell Najee for Kenneth Walker plus if you can?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Would you rather do it for Kenneth Walker or Dameon Pierce?
Walker. That was the part where it's like, if Damien Pierce is a top 10 running back, let me tell you all these other players who are also top 10 running backs in Dynasty.
I think it's such a weird.
Let's start with Kenneth Walker.
Yeah. If Dobbins is RB1 this week, who do I start at running back 2? Rashad White, Dylan, or Gibson? Pierce is on bye for me. Not Gibson unless you get return yardage.
Dylan has been bad, though, I will say.
Didn't work.
Dylan has been really bad.
Nobody's selling K9.
I still have Dylan at running back 24, but it's this week, but it's brutal.
I wonder. I want to go find some Kenneth Walker.
If Dylan doesn't deliver against the Jets, it's time to completely panic.
I bet you people are selling Walker. I bet you that they now have the sell window right now.
This week, I have Walker at... honestly, that's a little low. I feel like I should have Walker even higher than I do. All right, yeah. I have Walker this week at running back 14. It's against Arizona.
Someone flipped a couple days ago Kenneth Walker for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wow.
That's insane.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. I could go for that.
Do that.
Yeah, dude. How about that one?
Oh, I didn't do this one. 2:24 seconds and a 25-second for J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, man. I'll take Dobbins.
Well, I'll take Dobbins.
Do it.
Gross.
PPR Dynasty, PPR Dynasty, Najee, or a late first.
Oh,
Najee.
how the mighty have fallen.
I still don't even think he's fallen that far. It's still kind of Najee easily.
I had so much trouble trying to get rid of Najee, and then luckily I did it before this past week, and I ended up trading Najee plus for Breece Hall.
Yeah,
that's the direction to go.
Good luck with that in most leagues.
That's the direction to go.
I'll still take Najee over.
I did it last week. I don't think I could do it.
I'll still take Najee over a late first. The
Dynasty
mighty
10 team. Oh, go
are
ahead.
way down.
Dynasty 10 team, full PPR, no premium. If I picked up Taysom Hill last week, is it safe to sell high on Goddard? I could probably package him to upgrade running back or wide receiver. I would not be comfortable just having Taysom as my
Yeah,
tight
me
end.
neither. You can't rely on Taysom Hill.
As a resident Taysom Hill guy, that is not what I would do. Addison?
Yeah, everything that you guys have said. I mean, if you're packaging him just to be able to package him and get a better player, as long as that value makes sense, then that's fine. But I wouldn't be like, wow, I have Taysom Hill. I have another starting tight end that I can. Goddard is now expendable. Like that's not it.
Are we holding Zappy before or selling before Matt gets back? Do we have a quarterback controversy on our hand in New England?
We do not.
No.
But
Zappy season.
Zappy, I mean, what can you sell him for?
If you get any second, he's gone. I'd probably be holding.
He was part of my pack. He was part of what I added to Harris to get Brees Hall.
I'll take a third.
Trevon Bulger, what would you sell Geno for in a super flex, or is it more of a hold? Can you get a second for him, and would you do it?
I would do it, yeah. If I could
I would take a second. To be honest, if I'm competing, I might just ride the wave.
Yeah, there's no point in selling.
There are only like maybe 3 teams at most that have value on Geno Smith in your league right now. So if you're one of those 3 teams who's competing, you're 3-2, you're 4-1, you're 5-0, and you've been riding this Geno wave, I'd probably rather just ride the wave than try to sell him, because you're not going to sell him to a rebuilder, and you probably don't want to sell him to another one of your contenders, because then that means you're getting, maybe a late second or something like that. And it's just like, I'd probably just ride the wave at this point. Now, if you're rebuilding and you just had Geno any second, I'd take a contender second, but that's where I'm at.
Is Geno the starter next year in Seattle?
No.
Depends on where their first is.
I'm thinking he's going to play them into a position where they're going to have trouble.
Depends
now.
On where their first is.
Yeah. Now they do have.
Yeah, remember they have Denver's first as well.
Mm-hmm.
I still think if they could have signed Jimmy Garoppolo, they would have. If they did not have to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, if he were available, they would have signed him. They would have signed him and he would have been the starter. I think if the similar with Baker Mayfield. Now, I think they're glad they didn't do that. But I think if he'd been available and they had not had to trade for him, they would have signed him if the cost had been reasonable. And I do think they're going to be in a situation next offseason where I do think they're going to sign someone else.
But who, though? Like, who would be a better option at this point that's available in free agency next year?
Oh, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is better. I think Jimmy Garoppolo
is Jimmy Garoppolo a free agent next year? Are we 100% on that one?
Well, no, he will be. He will be a free agent.
I mean,
his
he will be.
Contract
But
expires and he cannot be tagged.
Is San Fran letting him go?
Well,
that's the real question.
That's up to him, not them. His contract expires and he cannot be tagged. So he can choose to leave if he'd like.
I mean, I think it's just him and Jameis Winston are the only 2 players I think would be even options for them to be.
And Tom Brady.
Upgrades.
But I don't think Tom Brady's going there.
I don't think they're going after Mitch Trubisky.
Jameis Winston is not a free agent.
And we got 2 more years.
The Saints have $11 million guaranteed on him, so he's not going anywhere. He's going to be there whether he's starting or not.
So then that just depletes the list even more. Then, I don't really think that there are players going on free agency.
No, it's really just Jimmy Garoppolo. It's really just Jimmy Garoppolo.
And where their first land up.
Daniel Jones will also be a free agent.
I feel like they'd rather just have Geno. If I were Seattle, I'd rather just have Geno.
I do think Daniel Jones probably has more talent than Geno Smith. He's actually been decent considering how putrid the Giants everything is. All things considered.
Jackie's not mad. She just thinks it's funny how so many non-athletic people can sit around and call these guys bad.
I do it every day. Comes easy to me at this point.
Something tells me she doesn't actually find it funny.
Also, Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is a free agent and is definitely better than Geno Smith for me, anyway.
That might be. I haven't seen Gardner in a minute. kind of take.
No, you haven't, because Gardner Minshew is very underrated if you actually look at his stats.
I'm pretty good at beer league old man softball. I'll have you know.
I'm pretty confident that Gardner Minshew starts somewhere.
I was just not having it.
No.
Week 1. I just don't care.
I was about to throw in my flag football credentials.
Dude, I was about to have so much fun with that comment.
Remember what I said earlier? I just don't care. Like, I don't care. There's going to be plenty of people who...
It's my people. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed.
Well, like I said, I just don't care. Like, there's plenty of people who have nothing better to do and sit in their basement thinking of ways to trying to come up with ways to tell me that they don't like me, and I just don't care. Those people are never going to watch my show anyway.
A JUCO national champ is pretty legit, though, Ed.
That is really legit, Ed. I love it. Jaden Sharp, what's the likelihood that Travis Etienne has the backfield to himself?
Whenever Robinson gets hurt.
You know what would be awesome is if everybody who's watching this put their highest athletic accomplishment in the chat. Please do that. I will read all of them, and like Tyler's gonna get so mad, but I would love to read all of them.
If you want to talk about things that I couldn't care less about, that's high on the list.
Super chat.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, Superflex. Oh, Caleb. I love Caleb. Superflex 10 team, half PPR. I'm a non-contender. The Penny owner wants Kenneth Walker. Would you move? Oh, this is a lot of players. All right. Would you move Kenneth Walker, Bateman, Akers, and Mooney for Amon-Ra, 23 first and 23 second? Appreciate you guys and Tyler for always responding. Yeah, I try my best.
Absolutely.
I would take
that is
Amon-Ra.
break your finger.
Yeah, I take Amon-Ra so easily. Yeah, I would take it. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Caleb.
Easy question too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great question.
These are the kind of softballs that we non-athletic guys can really knock out of the park.
Hey, I think though, well, at least Cal and I are somewhat athletic.
What?
I love you guys.
Wow.
What is this?
Addison. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Let's see. Did we do this?
Cal's athletic for 33. You can tell that I just do not care anymore.
I need to pull up my flag football huddle.
Let's hear it, Addison. Let's hear the flag football. I'll challenge Addison to a race.
Might be able to beat you, but yeah.
Good luck.
I don't think he's going to have the backfield to himself if Doug Peterson is in house. How about that?
Whenever Robinson gets hurt, so it's the likelihood that Robinson gets hurt.
And if it's not J-Rob, it'll be Corey Clement or somebody like that. What are some running backs do you think you could trade Drake London for? I'm in a win now team stacked on wide receiver, a little thin at running back.
Do we want to be trading Drake
I
London
don't think
for
you
running
do.
back right now?
I think we've learned in Dynasty we don't want to do that.
Yeah, it needs to be like a solid like package. Like you need to have. Man, I can't even.
Okay, Drake London or Breece Hall.
Breece Hall, but that's nobody's doing that.
What? He's asking the question. We're answering it.
Sure, but nobody's doing that.
Drake London or Javonte Williams.
That doesn't help him though.
That doesn't help him.
It doesn't.
And I'd still take London.
Drake London or Saquon Barkley.
Ooh,
Saquon Barkley.
That might be the only one that I feel like you could reasonably get done in a dynasty.
Drake London or Najee Harris.
Drake London.
Drake London or Austin Eckler.
Drake London.
Would you do like something like Drake London and for Kenneth Walker and
a 24 first?
Jahan Dotson.
No.
Maybe.
It can't be Dotson. It has to be somebody else.
I like Dotson a lot.
I mean,
when did I become the Dotson truther?
Don't get me wrong, but if it was DJ
no, you know
Moore,
what? I just remembered things about Jahan Dotson. I decided.
Could you do Kenneth Walker and DJ Moore for Drake London?
Oh, yes.
I'd rather have DJ Moore than Jahan Dotson.
Exactly, but I feel like that would bridge the gap for value to sell Drake London.
Sure.
At least on my end.
I'll do that then. I'll do that. I'll do Walker and DJ.
There you go.
Would you do it for Drake London, Kenneth Walker, and Marquise Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have
Are
that
you-
than DJ Moore.
Are we around on Marquise Brown being worth more than a single second?
4 seconds, Cal.
This is fake news.
I'm pretty sure it was a single. Maybe it was a one and a
It's
half.
fake.
seconds.
It's fake news.
and a half
It's
seconds.
fake news.
Let's see. Trade you Devontae Adams if I was pushed into it. See, he was picking up what I was putting down. A minor didn't break out until late in 2021. Not saying Sky will, but so he was actually not bad until like he was still pretty good. It just he really
He
broke
had
out at
targets.
the end.
Yeah.
Old Act 14 team, 1 QB. Pitch just got traded for DJ Moore and Chase Claypool. Shaking my head. Clearly would offer.
And yeah, Amon-Ra was better in early 2021 than you think. A lot better than Sky Moore. Amon-Ra was at least participating.
What picks would you value? Would you put on? What picks value would you put on Pitts in 14 team 1 QB right now? Dynasty.
Too late first.
Yeah, 2 firsts.
Yeah, I'm still in.
Mid to late.
I'm covering really a truther when Christian Kirk has his next good game. Who's someone lateral with more current or future value you'd pivot to on a contender?
Damn it. Tyler left on the question that I was not prepared for. Chris Olave? I don't even know if you can do that now.
No, I don't think.
I don't even think you could do that now.
Terry McLaurin or Christian Kirk?
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk or Elijah Moore?
Christian Kirk.
Oh, what? Oh my goodness! I'm telling Ryan.
So as where we're at right now, I'd rather have Christian Kirk than Rashad Bateman too. So
Christian Kirk or Cortland Sutton?
Oh, I'll take Kirk because he's a little younger.
Kirk or Devonta Smith?
Oh no. That one might be the one where I take Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
For the future because he's younger and has similar-ish production on spike weeks and whatnot. Hollywood would be another one I'd do too. I don't even know if you could do that now, but if you could,
definitely, I would take Hollywood.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Pickens. George Pickens.
Pickens.
There you
go. Ooh, okay.
You might be able to get a little something on with Pickens too, depending on where they're at.
Interesting. Let's go back here. Are we still holding on to Jordan Love? No.
Oh man. If it's a super flex league and you got like 25 plus man rosters, I think you have to, because that's a type of league format where those high quality backups are being stashed. You know, guys like Tyler Huntley, Jordan Love, I think, is in there as well. Outside of that, I don't think so. I don't think you can.
Did we have another week where Devonta Smith outscored AJ Brown?
Yeah, this past week, yeah.
Wow. It's amazing.
It's pretty close now on the season, I think.
Yeah. I brought it up last week and y'all laughed at me. Just saying. Kid Coop wants to know Tyler's reaction when Brian Robinson came out to 50 Cent. I thought that's one of the best videos of the season right there.
That was like the Joe Burrow shot on iPhone commercial thing. That Brian Robinson one is how it is.
Like that gets me so fired up. Like just to come back from what he did 6 weeks later to be out there and just to get that moment is so cool. Gosh, it's so cool. Imagine being like his family and you're watching that. Like you knew him, you grew up with him, you've been rooting for him. He gets his chance. Dude, so awesome. Love that. What would you add to Pat Freiermuth to get Dallas Goedert?
Nothing. I'd rather have Pat Freiermuth.
Ooh. Negative second round pick.
I'd add a third.
Why?
Oh, you would add to Freiermuth to get Goedert?
It's one of those deals where it's like, I'd take whichever one had the pick.
Okay.
Dallas Goedert's doing pretty well. I know Freiermuth is too, but like,
he is.
Goedert, I think, is what we wanted Hawkinson to be. And Freiermuth is what we wanted Goedert to be the last 2 years. So they'd be like my tight end 5 and 6 right now.
Give me the 4 years difference. on Firemouth. Izzo, is Damian Pierce for Mike Williams a good trade by RB2 next to Chubb? Is Singletary or Damian Harris?
I'd say no. I'd rather have Damien Pierce.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that like he has Mike Williams, so I'll take Damien Pierce.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. We did that. Could you trade Christian Kirk for Jamo Dotson?
I think you can. And I'd rather have either of them. Especially Jameson Williams.
Addison is your boy, Deion Jackson. A hold, or should you get what you can for him? He looked good.
Get whatever you can for him. Anybody that you can just pick off of waiver wires like that and get a spot start for, that's a sell for whatever.
You've been talking about him for a while.
He was part of a video at the beginning of the season. I told y'all.
I know. That was
I told
way
y'all.
back. Yep. Yep.
Right. So
but yes, a second round pick.
I take
that.
The
whatever.
Third.
Eric likes Pierce. Do we have any thoughts on Aaron Jones?
Sell now.
You should have sold a long time ago.
What are you getting for Aaron Jones?
That'll be a good play this week, though. Against the
RB
Jets.
13 on the season right now.
Yeah, you might want to wait until Sunday. Because if he has like one of those really good games, that everybody's like, "Oh, Aaron Jones is back." You know, we're starting to see that with some of these running backs now. We're getting more, we're getting more confident in our guys that we drafted in the first round and redraft. Guys like Austin Eckler and Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara finally did something. We're starting to get confidence back into them, and that's going to transition over into Dynasty, especially for competitors, to where you might be able to, if Aaron Jones has one of those confidence building games again, that's the time to sell.
10-team Superflex PPR. What are your thoughts on adding to Burks to tier up? Looking to compete next year, have 423 first and 423 seconds. I wouldn't do this if you're not looking to compete this year. Wait, Burks will get more helium and be worth more later.
You say more helium?
Yeah.
Is that a phrase?
No. But
you just said that
okay.
to just say that it inflates.
I've definitely heard it somewhere. I've heard it somewhere.
More helium.
I mean, I'm sure I've heard it. I don't know.
I didn't make it up. Maybe if I did make it up, then I'm a genius because it makes a lot of sense. But I don't think I made it up.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you said. It doesn't really make sense if you're rebuilding. Just hold on to Burks. Unless you get some crazy value or something like that, then go for it. But
Breece Hall and Mike Evans for Jonathan Taylor and Drake London.
Taylor London.
Yeah. What about this if it's redraft? Would you want the Evans side?
Go bring it up again.
Oh.
Yeah, I would. Dynasty is Taylor and London easily.
Yep.
Got off for Jamar Chase and Lockett for Cooper Kupp.
This has to be redraft.
I gotta imagine this is redraft.
And
in redraft, I might do it.
Which side?
I might take Kupp.
Okay.
In redraft. It's just like he's their only offense.
Yeah, I think I have to.
Redraft. I'll take Kupp in redraft. It's a solid consolidation, and you get one of maybe a handful of actual true difference makers on your team.
Absolutely. So trade Derrick Henry, Deebo Samuels, DK Metcalf, and Dallas Goedert for Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, James Conner, and Kyle Pitts. Holy cow.
Moly.
Give me the Lamb, Kupp, Pitts side.
Sure.
Yes. Wow.
Wow. Top back in 23, Taylor, Breece, Bijan.
I think it's going to be Bijan. Honestly.
Bijan's going to have the age argument. And
it's not going to be Taylor.
And probably
it's either going to be Breece or Bijan.
I think it could be. Yeah, I think it could be flipped to this. I think by the end of the year, Breece is going to be the RB1 until Bijan gets drafted. If Bijan has first round draft capital, it's done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be the one.
He is done.
Is Alberto droppable in Dynasty?
Well, you know what? I don't understand. People getting on me for liking Alberto. I don't remember that. I never liked Alberto. Right? I've always hated Alberto. I've always said he never did anything. And that you were just buying a hope.
Definitely low on him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what happens when people criticize me without actually paying attention to any of my content. They just take a look at what they see on Twitter and see me answer a couple of questions favoring Alberto over like Gerald Everett or Tyler Higbee throughout the offseason who were irrelevant then. And they think that that means that I like Alberto. Whereas if they actually paid attention to any of the work that I'm doing, watching the show like you guys, they would know that I've had multiple diatribes of how much I hate Alberto and how he's done nothing ever in his career. And you were just betting on, you know, what you haven't seen and a miracle to happen. And it didn't happen. And now Greg Dulcich was activated from the IR today. So Alberto, bye-bye. 4th in snaps over the last 2 weeks of tight ends on the team. 4th in snaps, not good. So yeah, you can cut him. He is worthless.
What's
a
up,
forceful
FFP?
and bitter verbal attack against someone or something. Diatribe. That was my word of the day. Thank you, Tyler.
But yeah, it's fine. It's, you know, it's fine. It is what it is. I've noticed that there you go. I've noticed that the people who always criticize me pay attention to zero of my actual content. None. They don't watch. They don't read anything. They certainly don't sign up for my Patreon. They have no idea about anything that any of my actual takes. So I don't really give a fuck about what they say.
They probably saw you advise taking Alberto over somebody. Like they were like, would you rather have Alberto?
I think I said not
or
to
Rob
drop
Gronkowski?
him. I think I said not to cut him in
Right.
Dynasty. That's apparently means that I like him.
Right.
I guess. I don't know. The spoiler, there's a reason why when I answer hundreds of Twitter questions a day that I don't answer most of them in a paragraph. Because then I never get to everyone. I try to get to everyone instead of try to give everyone something instead of giving a little, like a lot to everyone. If I give a lot to everyone, I'd never do it.
Michael
did that
Esprit, should I trade Derrick Henry, Debo Samuels, DK Metcalf? We just did that one.
We just
Sorry.
did this.
BJ, Cal, who does he play for? Smoke Monday. That's not a real person.
That's not a real person.
No
Google
way.
will tell me.
That's not a real person.
No.
Oh my
way.
God,
If
it
is.
Oh, it
this,
is.
This is your best one yet, BJ.
Oh my gosh, Cal.
It is.
Oh no.
Is he a Saint?
Oh
No
no.
way. What? He is. He's a safety on IR for the Saints. 22 years old, tore his ACL. Wow. Man, rehabbing. Wow.
Smoke
right.
Monday.
Great one. Ryan Storm is Tevin Coleman rosterable. 2 touchdown having Tevin Coleman. If so, who would you drop for him? Hunter Henry, Greg Dortch, Russell Gage, Robbie
Anderson?
Grossman? No, probably not baseball. DeAndre Carter, Matt Breida, Damian Williams, Joe Flacco.
DeAndre Carter.
These players are all irrelevant, and Tevin Coleman is not rosterable.
Yeah.
I dropped DeAndre Carter for him.
But the 49ers did cut Marlon Mack
Mm-hmm.
in slightly unrelated news.
I wonder if that's a TDP news thing.
I hope
that's
so.
like a.
I hope so. I'd like to see TDP back and getting a chance.
I dropped DeAndre Carter, Ryan.
Yeah, sure.
My most valuable lesson learned: if a player plays bad, maybe let's not assume it's because he wasn't trying, because maybe he's washed. Thank you, Tyler, for saving me from Allen Robinson.
Ooh. Thank you.
Let's see. Only analyst I can think of wasn't straight up nah fam on A-Rob.
There were others, but I didn't tell you to trade a 23 first for him, so you know I must know something.
I want to know who this is. I know it wasn't.
No,
me.
oh,
I don't.
You?
There is nobody that I'm talking about. I don't know.
there is for sure.
Maybe there is for you. I don't know. I don't pay that much attention to what
like a
other
23
people are
first
doing.
plus like some like depth position player. Like I'm just gonna think of like
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Donovan
You'll have to send me a
Peoples-Jones
link.
or
You'll have to put a
something
link in
like
the
that.
chat or
Oh,
something.
okay,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll find it.
Crazy thing is, hype is the 2020 RB class was only JT and Swift. Maybe are the running backs that actually help teams who banked on the class. It's true.
Yeah, the quarterbacks ended up being a little bit
something important to remember as we head into another hyped class, I would say. Jason, 12 teams, Superflex, half PPR, half tight end premium. I have been using Hawkinson and Kittle, and it's been very disappointing. Yes. Do we still value these guys as top end tight ends? I think is what he's trying to say here. Just hold and hope for the best. I have not been on the Hawkinson train that way. What about you guys?
Kittle is so frustrating because he's good, but
he's not used.
He's not used. Hawkinson, so inconsistent. I don't know. To me, really, there's only two high-end tight ends in Pitts and Andrews in Dynasty, and then Kelsey is a redraft one, and then that's it. Everyone else has kind of lost a lot of value over time.
Would you rather have, like, is Freiermuth and Goddard ahead of both these guys for you in Dynasty?
No. Freiermuth is right in that tier with Hawk. Freiermuth, and Goddard are basically back to back for me. Okay. Kittle's still higher. And I still hold out hope, you know.
Waller's below all of them, right?
No, Waller's actually in the middle, below Kittle. Waller's closer to the younger guys, lower down. Kittle's higher.
Tight end landscape sucks.
Yeah, it's not great. You know, it's really not great.
If you have either one of those two guys, I'd be trying to bump down to, like, can you still sell Kittle for Freiermuth plus in Dynasty? I think.
I would do it. What plus are you even going to get?
The plus isn't going to be anything significant. It's going to be maybe a player. It's probably not even going to be a second round pick. It's probably going to be a player that's valued like ish that, you know, like I can't even think of who a player like that would be, like a Damien Harris or somebody like that. Not Damien Harris per se, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The real most valuable lesson I've learned, heavily divest in the pricey running backs. If I didn't draft them or pick them up for free, they're probably not joining my squad.
Yeah, I would say.
Yes.
That's fine.
Zach says I'm 1-4 in my league and don't have my first. Oh no. 1 QB, Brady, Watson, Fournette, Dobbins, Etienne. Oh my goodness. All these players. All right. What suggestions do we have for Zach here? These are the toughest
to answer.
He has 4 firsts.
But if you're 1-4, I think more of a general suggestion. How about more of a general suggestion? So I would say we look at some of these players. We're in a rebuild, right? 1-4, not so good. I mean, Brady can go. Fournette can go. Just get rid of the oldest players, you know, for Brady, Fournette.
I would trade every single one of your running backs.
Yeah, I mean, Dobbins and Etienne are not must moves to me. J-Rob either. But Pollard, I guess, I would try to move. I think he has more value in season.
What could you get for Jerry Jeudy right now?
Nothing.
Yikes.
I've tried. Nothing. Nobody wants Jerry Jeudy.
He's a package deal.
Yeah. Nobody wants Jerry Jeudy. Like
that's like a contender wants Leonard Fournette, but they won't give you a first. So it's like, would you do Fournette and Jerry Jeudy for a first? And you're like, yeah. You're like that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Would you trade Jeudy for Jahan Dotson?
Yes.
I'd rather have Jahan Dotson.
Jeudy for Jameson Williams.
I have Jameson Williams. We're not even close to where I have Jeudy.
I'd rather have Jeudy.
Well, this is all below his ADP, so getting you to say it is helpful for the
Jerry Jeudy is very low to me.
George Pickens, Romeo Dobbs.
I'd rather have Jeudy.
Oh no.
I feel like I might regret that.
I was gonna say, I think I want Dobbs. That is one of those moves where that might be my preference, but I know that that's not consensus, and I would love to trade Jeudy for Dobbs plus.
Do it.
That would be my Dobbs in a second for Jeudy. Oh, that is.
Hopefully that helps. Late 23 first and Burks, who can I get to win this season? I actually pre-ran this through the trade calculator. Tell me what you think. What about Tyreek Hill? Could you get that?
Love it. Don't know if you can get it, but
I'm good with it. Yeah, if you can get it.
Devontae Adams.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I don't think you can get T. Higgins, but he came up on here too.
Probably not Diggs either. Then I'm just like he's in that with Tyreek and Devontae and older producers.
That's kind of what Eric was leaning towards
There you
here too. So PPR is going to trade Damian Pierce for Jalen Waddle and Tyler Higbee. Yes.
Of course.
This is
Of course.
easy. I assume this has got to be
That's
redraft.
redraft. It's redraft.
Yeah.
Still,
It's definitely.
Debo, Jamar Chase, rest of season. That's who he has, I guess. I don't know. Let's give by the target for QBs I've
I think the
seen.
question
12
is, would you rather have Debo or Jamar Chase rest of the season?
I'd rather have Chase.
Yeah, I'd still rather have Chase.
Same. 12 teams, Superflex, Bailey, Zappi, and a mid-23 first for Dak Prescott. Ooh.
I'll still take Dak.
Is that even a trade that's happening? That's amazing.
That can't be real. But people are really frustrated with Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
They're scared of
And they're
Cooper Rush.
concerned, yeah. That's
the
so
next
true.
Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush.
Wouldn't that be funny?
James Flatley, I need to pick up tight end for this week, and I'm forced to drop someone. Do I drop Nyheim Hines or Jalen Warren?
Brutal. Jalen Warren has more upside. I think Jonathan Taylor's back this week, so I would. And Nyheim Hines, I don't know. I think Jonathan Taylor's more likely to play than Nyheim Hines.
Nyheim Hines, we were talking earlier about types of handcuffs. Nyheim Hines is one of those handcuffs where he would maintain his role while somebody else.
Yeah, he's not really a handcuff
Taylor.
at all.
No, he's like a JD McKissick, or like a
pretty
Kareem
much.
Hunt. Like when the main 2 down guy gets hurt,
Well, Kareem
they're
Hunt
not
is
stepping
different,
into.
But JD
Yeah.
McKissick is a good example.
Like he's like Nyheim Hines is not Ramondre Stevenson,
Right.
where like they're getting the receiving work now, and then if the starter gets hurt, they would get the running work. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
How do you feel about picking up Kenneth Walker and dropping Corey Davis or Tyler Boyd? I feel good about it.
Either one of them,
In redraft or dynasty, right?
any of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy thing to do.
Eric wanted to know if you had a gross wide receiver you can drop. I assume that's for this
James,
question.
Maybe.
Gross wide receiver. I like that concept. Corey Davis, Alec Pierce, Rashad White, Jalen Warren, or Kenneth Gainwell rest of season. Who you got?
Um,
I'm taking
Alec
Rashad
Pierce.
White.
I'm seeing
Pierce
Alec
was a
Pierce.
close second.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the only two.
I'd swing for the fences with Rashad White if Fournette were to get hurt. Oh man.
But unless
Right.
Fournette gets hurt, Rashad White is never going to be usable, really.
Sure.
10 teams, Superflex, start 9, 6-point passing TD. How many 23 or 24 first plus Derek Carr would you spend to get Lamar Jackson?
10-team Superflex, I'm less likely to make a big purchase at quarterback, but I don't know. I mean, I'd probably add 123 first at least. Maybe 23 and a 24. 2 23s and Carr starting to get like a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would start a 23 first and a second in either year.
Yeah.
Plus Derek Carr to get Lamar. I'd be more hesitant to do first, especially if it was 2 23s.
I think this might be true. Todd saying that Baltimore slowly easing Dobbins back in.
I do
I
agree
don't
with
think
that.
so.
I think they are.
Very slow then.
Sergio, 12-team Dynasty total rebuild was offered Jonathan Taylor, Trevor Lawrence, and John Mechie for my Brees Hall, Fields, and David Bell.
What?
Yeah, you take it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one QB,
Yes.
then this
If
is
it's
a
one
lot
QB,
closer.
Yeah, I was gonna say in Superflex, this is the Jonathan Taylor and Trevor Lawrence side.
By a mile, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If it's one QB, I still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
How about what's Bellinger's value in a 12-man, 1.5 tight end premium dynasty is giving up guys like Romeo Dubs too much? Yes.
Yeah, Romeo
yes, it
Dubs
is.
is way too much.
You need to scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, although I still think I'm just not that high on him for giving up players, but he's really someone I wish it would be nice if you had drafted him in the 4th and had
Like
him now.
Nico Collins or Bellinger.
I'd take Bellinger.
There you go.
Somewhere around there. Maybe it's Pierre Strong season.
I wouldn't count on that one. He's
Might be
barely
another
been active, but maybe.
King Henry or an early 23 second.
Henry. Still.
Yeah.
Even now.
But if you're a non-contender, I don't mind you getting his points off your roster like in this way.
I wish it was more than a second.
Well, it is because it's like it might be like the 104 and Henry for the 101 and a 23 second.
Oh, because you're getting your points off.
Yeah. Like you got to think about that part. There's a hidden part of that trade that like if you don't get his points off your roster, then you could end up with a worse pick.
Is that really how much of a factor is that?
You
really?
how much is start him?
How much is Derrick Henry really impacting your wins and losses if your team is that bad?
Not wins and losses. Well, so maybe wins and losses, but if the difference in how you get
if you're doing by points,
yeah, then it could be the difference. So that is like part of the trade.
Most general dynasty leagues are still win losses though.
Yeah, no win losses, but then the tiebreaker, like if there are two teams that are 2 and 12 or whatever, 2 and 13, point scored is going to be the tiebreaker.
I want more than a second.
Let's see. That was Sergio for. Yeah, Eric would usually want more than Henry. More for Henry. Are you worried about Walker's production? Penny hasn't been good fantasy-wise with his touches. Would you sell high if you could?
No.
I think Kenneth Walker is better than Rashad Penny.
I agree with that.
So, if you can sell high, like what's high?
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, like that deal I said earlier? Yes. A 23
Oddly enough, I feel like they sort of trust him with in the passing game more, which sounds crazy but it just seems like they trust him more there.
Walker's a good receiving back too.
He wasn't known for that, obviously, which is why I say it's oddly enough, but it just seems that way. I don't know if that bears out. Maybe I have to go look.
I mean, Chris Carson had multiple years of 40+ targets. Like that's all you need for Kenneth Walker, just for a solid baseline of like 3 receptions a game. 2 receptions a game, 2 to 3. That's like a solid enough floor that if he gets 15 to 18 carries, it's not the worst thing in the world. Penny was getting like a catch,
Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne?
Walker.
I'm not going to answer. Abstain.
You can't do that.
Kenneth Walker and Rashad Bateman or T. Higgins in his 23 third.
Higgins, yes. That's a sell high. There you go.
Eli Vaughn, should I do this? I get Tyler Higbee and Jared Goff. He gets George Kittle and Geno Smith. Oh, what a gross trade.
Wow. Kittle, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See, FF Lefty knows what's up. Let's see. Okay, I'll drop Corey Davis and pick up Alex Pierce this week. Okay.
There you go.
Do that.
I would do
Love it.
Everett or Kittle this week?
I hate that we're doing this to Kittle.
I
can't imagine sitting Kittle and watching that game where he has like 9 for 150.
The regret would just be like so bad.
Those games come out of, they can seem like they come out of left field, but
really
they're
hurt,
Everett does not have that ceiling that Kittle does.
Yeah.
I'd rather go down swinging.
George Kittle
plays
wasn't bad this past week, was he? Maybe he was.
in points.
He wasn't good. I mean,
Where was he? Oh, okay. Never mind. The fact that I'm saying that probably tells me he wasn't very good. 7.7 points. But
Yeah.
I looked early in the game. He must have had all of his production early because I was like, oh, not bad.
yeah, it wasn't good.
Mark Andrews is impossible to get rid of. He's staying on my rosters. I'm not giving up that positional advantage in tight end premium. Irreplaceable if you're cheering down to the gross tier of tight ends. Agreed? Don't do that. The Chargers' problem is their head coach. He's a fraud. It won't be the problem next year when Sean Payton is their head coach. I've said it for a long time. It's happening.
We say
Dobbins.
that, but he's a better coach than maybe about a third of the league, maybe more.
Brandon Staley?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad coach.
I mean, he's not even the worst coach in his own division. So,
wow. I agree with that.
So
he might not even be the second worst coach.
Yeah.
Judy and Dobbins or Marquise Brown?
Marquise Brown.
Stafford or Derek Carr rest of the season?
Carr. Easily.
I started Pat Fryermuth and Gerald Everett last week together, and we'll never do it again. Don't do that.
Sorry.
16-team league, PPR, 1 QB is a mantra, a 23 mid-second, 24 second enough value to get back for CMC.
Yes.
Absolutely. Agreed, Teller?
Yeah. I mean, Amon-Ra is worth more than CMC.
Yes.
Would you trade Justin Jefferson for Breece Hall and a 2023 top 3 pick?
I would. I'd take Breece Hall.
Can you imagine if that turned into Breece and Bijan Robinson?
That's why I would do it.
Oh, dude, that would be...
Or Jahmyr Gibbs, I think is, like another decent consolation prize, maybe, if it's a 1 QB.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Yeah. What's the trade value for Higbee right now if you're rebuilding?
I'll take any second.
Mm-hmm. Debo or AJ Brown? Which one would you rather trade?
AJ Brown. I want to trade for AJ Brown.
Yep.
Trying to get a second if you could for Higbee. Guess I should have waited to trade Walker, but last night I got T and Brian Robinson for Walker and a late first. Ooh, Walker and gave up a first. Got T Higgins and Brian Robinson.
I think I approved this trade, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I like it.
Eric sold K9 for a 23 first beginning of the year. I did too.
I'd still take a 23 first now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Javonte Williams argument, I think. Where
I think you could get more than that now.
I think you can for sure, but I'm still not upset.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit, but I don't think Cooks belongs on this list.
Cooks really hasn't done anything.
Mm-mm.
I hate to say it, but no.
I like Deontay.
And you can't spend less than a first to get Deontay or Pittman.
Definitely not Pittman. You could, in theory, spend less than a first for Deontay if it's like a player in a second. If you're not giving up a first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Flores Suarez needs Geno. He's amazing right now. I doubt there are sellers unless they have 3 starting QBs. I would absolutely trade him in any league that I have him. But for 2 seconds, it'd be an absolute smash.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Zappy, most single season passing yards in FBS history. Guy can sling it.
I love it.
You know, I found out today, or not today, Sunday, that Case Keenum went undrafted. I was very upset by that.
Why?
Do you know what he did in college? Pull up his
I do.
stats.
He set records.
At Houston, right? Was it Houston?
Yeah. Also, it was in the 2013 draft class. Name me the draft class in 2013 at quarterback. I'll give you a hint. The first quarterback drafted was E.J. Manuel.
So gross.
And Case Keenum, who threw for like 17,000 yards in college, went undrafted. Sadness.
Gerald Everett or Hayden Hurst rest of the season?
Everett.
Boy, it'd sure be something if Denver's first is earlier than Seattle's.
Oh, I'd
first.
love it. I'd love it. I'd love it more than anything. I'd love it.
I don't think he's on a big boy deal. I think it was a 2-year deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a 2-year deal, but 11 million of next year's guaranteed. So he's probably going to be there, even if they bring him to someone else.
Which is like nothing for a quarterback, though.
Yeah, it's really not much.
Probably less than Taysom.
What's the dead cap?
11 million. That's dead. 15.
Oh, sorry. What's the cap hit?
15.
Okay. Yeah, he's probably still there. 4 mil isn't worth it.
You guys are all trading Walker for Amon-Ra and competing on
absolutely.
Amon-Ra.
Oh, yeah.
From trading block. He's saying that he just. Oh no. Okay. Yes. Absolutely do that, Gavin. Absolutely. That's his team. Yep. Do it. Jameis is locked in. If healthy to be a QB1.
Considering he doesn't even have a contract after 2023, that is not true.
No. Let's see. Someone tell. Oh.
Oh my god.
Yes. Well, she wasn't mad though. She just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Varsity High School Tennis, says Eric, played number 1 double senior year. Let's go.
I love it.
That was better tennis than I could play. Damn it.
I love it. Look, talking about non-athletes in their basement. Get out of here.
I was like number 2 doubles in my senior year.
Be nice to Jackie. They're clearly here to cause trouble. Just leave them alone. Tyler has wheels. You don't want that smoke.
How do you know this?
Tyler, what's your 4-4?
Yeah,
What's
come
your
on.
40? Is it 4-4?
I don't know what my fucking 40 is.
Eric says you could beat a cheetah.
Or cheetah.
Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill.
No.
Oh.
I definitely cannot.
That's a little different.
Or a cheetah.
If you were to run a 40-yard dash against a cheetah and you got a 30-yard head start, would you win?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. That's
It's a lot. It's a long head start.
Gavin forgot to mention some facts about his league, and I don't remember the question anymore, Gavin.
that was the Amon-Ra for Walker.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. In any format, every format. Andy Reid, I believe, is just trusting the vets right now, but I could see Sky getting in the field more by the end of season. I love the profile, and I think he's super cheap right now. I think that's not a bad buy low.
There are worse buy lows.
Mhm.
Like Jalen Tolbert.
Yikes.
Elijah Moore over Kirk. She's telling you to take a lap over that one.
Apparently, I mean, how many likes are there right now?
Yeah,
Apparently, I have a lot of laps.
miles.
Yeah.
Right.
Not as many as usual.
23. Dude, I'm running a marathon. Almost a marathon.
She says, no way, Pickens over Kirk. Addison.
Did I say Kirk?
Great.
Did I say Pickens over Kirk or Kirk over Pickens? Wait,
I don't know.
I don't remember if I said that. That was when you were gone, Tyler. So you would have
Hey,
called me out
Addison,
for
would
sure.
you rather George Pickens or Christian Kirk?
Pickens.
Pickens easily, yeah. I don't know.
Hey, Pickens owners are. You must have said that though.
Maybe I did.
Also, you're welcome. And thanks for the super chat.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Dang, Addison, you should have taken that lap. High quality backup and Jordan Love shouldn't be in the same sentence.
Wow. Bruh. Yeah.
High quality fantasy backup.
Eric from deep, is Addison contractually obligated to draft Jordan Addison everywhere in his rookie drafts?
Wait a second.
Yes, he is.
This is a signed Jordan Addison USC helmet from Pristine Auction.
Yay.
And yes, whenever Jordan Addison does get drafted, I will have a jersey of him hanging up straight behind me for whichever team he's drafted by.
Perfect.
That sounds wonderful.
I've also, just so everybody's clear, if you watch any videos of me and I talk about next year's class and I say I'm in the class, that's who I'm referring to.
There you go. Cade got Hawkinson and Schultz. Pitts just dropped. Just what? Oh, redraft. Gotta be. Should I trade Hawkinson or Schultz away? Could get Brandon Cooks for Hawkinson, probably.
I would pick up Pitts and cut Schultz in redraft.
Yes.
Schultz has done nothing at all the last 2 weeks. And he got hurt again. He re-aggravated the PCL.
Oof.
So I don't think he's going to play
Addison.
next week.
I agree with what Tyler said. I wouldn't trade Hawkinson for Cooks though.
I don't know if I would or wouldn't. It's very meh.
I don't. There's nothing going on there.
Who could you get at wide receiver for Hawkinson?
Nobody. Like nobody
Ayuk?
wants Hawkinson in redraft.
Yeah.
I
Could
don't
you
even know if I
get-
want that.
You might be able to get Pickens in redraft. He was still on waiver wires this week.
Deontay Johnson. People are mad at Deontay Johnson.
Jacoby Myers.
See, I would do that. I'd rather have Myers than Cooks for the rest of the year.
I don't know. If
Yeah,
I
me
would.
too.
These are redraft moves. Yeah.
10 team single QB PPR start 8. Send Diggs and Rashad White for Olave, Garrett Wilson, 24 first and third.
Do it before it goes away.
Oh, Tyler, I wanted to ask you. I saw this on the Trade Finder. Would you trade away Jamar Chase for London, Wilson, and Olave? All three of them in a one package.
Yes, I would.
I saw it on the Trade Finder. I thought that was very interesting.
That's an interesting trade.
It happened like a week ago.
All right.
24 first and 223 seconds or CMC.
CMC, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't really want to do it.
FF Lefty would like to have less thoughts about Aaron Jones.
I like Lefty.
14 team Superflex PPR start 11. Competing team give Brees Hall mid 23 second. Get Eckler late 23 first 23 201.
Hall. That late 23 first is too late, and the 201. I mean, I think when you actually put names to this and then go into 2023, you're much gonna rather Hall. I'll take Hall
Agreed.
easily.
Let's see. Packers fan, so many Aaron Jones thoughts by Apple Pie. I think Tyler would say he'd rather not, but Scott Connor would say smash except for Eckler side. That's his thing.
Sure. It's easily the Hall side.
What's the value difference of AJ Dillon and Akers?
They're both struggling. Akers actually got more work this week. Dillon is, I think, is worth slightly more, but not much.
Because he's not injury prone. not injury history.
Yeah, sure.
There it is.
What percent of fab do we drop on Rondale Moore for redraft?
Nothing. Not much.
2%.
Hopkins is coming back next week. So, nothing.
Dang, is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is the last week. So,
Yep.
no interest in Rondale Moore in redraft, really.
What do you think the value of Tony Pollard is in a 12-team PPR?
Second.
Yeah, I guess. That's the generic answer for Pollard and has been for a long time.
Would it take more to get Pollard, or I guess right now more people? Josh Jacobs would be.
I'd much
More
rather have Josh
expensive?
Jacobs.
I'd much rather have.
Yeah, I'd
Jacobs.
much rather have Josh Jacobs.
But I feel like 2 weeks ago it would have cost you more to get Pollard than Jacobs.
I don't think it ever cost more to get Pollard. I've never had Pollard ranked ahead of Jacobs.
No,
Maybe during the summer.
different question.
Still, I mean, going into the season, Pollard's last ADP was still lower.
Well, they're right back to back, RB 28 and 29 in the ADP this month.
Sure. Well,
Smoke Monday is a legend, says Flowosaurus.
apparently.
Would you guys rather have a 90% route participation wide receiver like Elijah Moore or AJ Dillon, who just had a 32% snap rate? I will take Elijah Moore.
In redraft, I'll take Dillon. For sure. Easily.
Let's see.
Dillon's one injury away from being an RB1. In Dynasty, I still rather have Elijah Moore. But in redraft, I'll take Dillon.
10-team, 2 QB PPR. Give Dotson 23 second or Bateman, DJ Moore.
I just keep Dotson.
Yeah, that's another one of those. Whichever side the pick's on, I'll take it.
Evan's going to go ahead and kick you things over to a rebuild. What QB could I realistically pivot up to with Goff. I have Mixon, Dobbins, CPAT, B-Rob, and Madison at running back.
This is just so vague. I mean,
Goff and Mixon for
Trey Lance.
ooh.
yeah. I don't even think you have to pay that much for Trey Lance. Though, to be honest with you.
Trey Lance or Kenneth Walker?
In Superflex, Trey Lance.
Could you do Goff and Mixon for Dak?
Well, that would be nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
Could
But
you do
again,
like
it depends on what other teams have quarterback available. So
right
your
Would you do, like,
options are going to be limited.
Goff and Cordell Patterson for like Kenny Pickett just to
Well, I would
get
absolutely
just to
do
hit
that.
reset?
I don't know if you can.
Yes.
Maybe before his injury, but something like that. Or Tua. I think Tua would be another target.
Yeah, Tua would be a target for me.
Any interest in buying low on Adam Thielen for the rest of the season?
Not really.
A third.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'll pay a third. Yeah.
A third, yep. Let's see. 1 QB, half PPR, DJ Moore, and a mid 23 first, or Higgins.
Higgins.
10 team Superflex, Justin Jefferson plus Fields, or Jamar Chase plus Mac Jones plus a 24 third.
Jefferson and
side.
Fields.
Cooks in a late 23 second, or Curtis Samuel and Tyler Lockett.
Wow.
Samuel and
I'll
Lockett.
take Samuel
This
and
one
Lockett.
makes no sense. No matter. It isn't really weird trade. I'll take Samuel and Lockett, I guess.
Yeah.
Cooks is probably
Right.
too high in the dynasty rankings.
Ryan wants to know if I'm more hyped about a Taysom Hill Monster Fantasy Week or a Saints W. Duh. Taysom Hill Monster Fantasy Week. The fact that everyone's talking about Taysom Hill. Here's what I am a little bit upset about, to be honest. I'm a little upset when he was going off and having all these touchdowns. I was out on the baseball field and had no idea this was happening.
Oh my
Nobody
god.
tagged me. Nobody messaged me. Nobody thought of me. I feel like if Taysom Hill has that kind of day, somebody should tag me on Twitter.
Dude.
Come on. What are we doing? I love that there's a bunch of questions here on here, though. That is a great question, Ryan. What are we trying to move Javonte for in 12 team, 1 QB PPR?
I don't think we're trying to move Javonte.
Talked about this a lot on
Just hang on to him and wait for him to come back. I'm
on
fine
the
trying to
Dynasty.
trade for Javonte.
Yeah. Any first.
Eric gets it. Good job, Eric.
Enjoy watching the show. Tuesday's been busy, but I catch them when I can. Very good. I'm glad
you.
you
Appreciate
are
that.
joining us. Let's see. How about traded Russell Wilson and Hamler for Zach Wilson, Daryl Henderson, 23 third, 24 second, and a 25 first.
Just give me the package of the picks there
Yeah. Yep.
for sure.
Brevin Jordan droppable in tight end premium dynasty leagues.
Yes.
Yep.
I liked him, but yes.
Let's see. Bought Zeke in the offseason for 22,
Oh.
106. Not good.
I
Buddy.
wouldn't have let you do that if you'd asked.
Buddy.
Zach Taylor is next up. For
Zach
what?
Taylor's a terrible coach who just
To be
had.
fired?
I don't think he's going to
He
be
took his
fired.
team to
But
the Super Bowl last year.
he's
not
a
getting
bad
fired.
coach. You can
Did
have
he
success.
did he take them to the Super Bowl?
He's not a
Cal?
good coach at all. He's one of the worst coaches in the league. I really believe that. I don't think he's a good coach.
If the Bengals fired Zach Taylor 5 weeks, 6 weeks
They're not going to
after
fire him because they gave him
taking
a
the team
contract
to the
extension. They're
Super
not
Bowl.
firing him. It's just that he isn't a very good coach.
Is it better that, like, if we're unathletic to talk about head coaches who never played?
Look, Zach
that better?
Taylor really has coached 11 good games
Let's
in
ask
3+
what's her name.
years. Really, that's it. He wasn't good in his first 2 years, and he had a mixed bag last year, and then he got hot right at the end.
Keenan Allen is going to love Sean Payton. That's all I'm going to say. TDP or Benjamin
I'll
or
take
Gainwell.
I'll take TDP in Dynasty just because he has the draft capital. But I'll prefer Kenneth Gainwell, I guess, over either one. I like Kenneth Gainwell if Sanders ever went down to do something.
London and 23 third or 23 first in Bateman.
I'll take
I'll take
First
the first
Bateman.
Bateman.
first and Bateman, I guess.
Michael Gallup or Tony Pollard.
Gallup. I'll take Gallup. I actually like Gallup. He looks good.
I'd probably take Pollard. I think you can get a little more.
I think you can get more for Pollard.
I think if this was a trade, I would. Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have Gallup if I had to have one, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is it acceptable in Tyler's non-blue light blocking eyes to send a 23 first for Tyreek Hill in Superflex? If you're contending.
Sure, if it's a late first.
Yeah.
And
If it's
you're
your
already 5-0, sure.
Peanut butter and jelly time. Lettered in track and field in high school in 1974. So
21
there
years
we
before
go.
I was born.
Let's go.
Incredible. John Snary, hey guys, thanks as always. Where do you guys actually have Bateman ranked in Dynasty? DLF, ECR. He's sitting at wide receiver 20 and wondered how far away each of you were on him.
I'm at 28. So significantly lower, I suppose.
If I did official rankings, he would be in that late 20. I might push him into maybe 30, but he'd be in that same range.
Yeah.
I've always been lower on him than where he's been at recently, though.
I've been up and down on him.
His ADP on the site for October has him at wide receiver 19. Here is who's going after him. Tell me if you'd rather Rashad Bateman or Treylon Burks.
I'll take Bateman.
Yeah, I will too.
Marquise Brown,
Hollywood.
Honestly.
Chris Godwin or Bateman,
Godwin easily.
DJ Moore or Bateman,
DJ
More.
Moore.
Devonta Smith or Bateman,
Smith.
Cortland Sutton or Bateman,
Sutton.
Elijah Moore or Bateman,
More.
Christian Kirk or Bateman,
Bateman.
Jahan Dotson.
Bateman.
All right. So yeah, somewhere in that 28, 27, 26 range for both of you, it sounds like. Good thing I wasn't in Dynasty when Evan Ingram was drafted. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Okay.
Why.
Sure.
Would
He was pretty good early on. He probably would have helped you.
Year one, really.
Yeah.
Drop 100% fab on Pitts.
Not in redraft.
What percent of fab do we put on Taysom?
Nothing. I mean,
I don't know what to do with him.
yeah. Nothing really.
7%.
Sure, whatever.
Ooh.
Or his number.
That's just because it was his number. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not good with that. I think it depends on your league.
Neither am I.
I have a better feel for my individual league on this than I do.
Fab
as
is
a
not
total.
a good thing to like ask questions about because like every league is so different. It so changes based on who's out there. So it's the hardest thing to give a one size fits all. That's why Start Sit is so good for me on Twitter because pretty much every league is the same given the format at least. And the format can be easily described in one or two words. Whereas like Fab, it's like, I just don't know how to answer.
Just to sum this question up from here from Costi, is this a time to sell Breece Hall? People are talking about him as the possible RB1.
You better get a haul for it.
A haul for
No
haul.
pun intended.
Yeah.
You better walk her away with the great deal.
Oh my God. Well, I can see why, they call it a dad joke.
That's right.
You better be swift with it.
If you will sign up for Tyler's Patreon, he will tailor make a trade for you to go with.
It's true. I will. And yeah.
See if you can cook you something up here. I don't know.
My God.
Mixing it up in the kitchen, bro. In the laboratory.
You guys.
This is like having a headache, and this is like not helping Tyler at all. This is like the worst case scenario. I don't think it's a bad idea. Could you get Jalen Waddle plus for Hall right now?
If you're selling, it's probably not for a running back.
Yeah.
You can try.
Yeah, you need to go across to a young wide receiver for sure. You
Also,
might even be able to get
if you
something
want
plus.
to look at said Patreon, there's the link.
Ken Walker and it's 23 first or Brees Hall?
Hall.
Brees.
Chase Claypool, is he worth an ad in a redraft?
No.
In redraft, I'd say no.
No, he's not.
Not sure I ever would have drafted him.
No.
What would Deshaun Watson be worth in redraft right now? 1 QB.
In redraft, 1 QB, nothing. I mean, you're not going to wait 6 weeks for a redraft 1 QB quarterback. So
Yeah.
nothing.
Unless you can throw him on your IR. It's one of those leagues that you can.
Even if you can, you probably need the IR for someone else.
Maybe.
So yeah, nothing.
Louis just traded Brady and DJ Moore for Hurts in a 1 QB dynasty. How did I do?
Ooh.
I'd rather have DJ Moore.
I think I'd take Hurts.
I find quarterback in 1 QB so hard to rank. I just don't know where to put him.
Yeah,
Hurts
it is more
such
difficult.
a
Hurts,
difference maker.
right? Hurts is one of those difference making guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was like Lamar or Hurts or Justin Herbert, like any of those guys, like I think that's a good deal on 1 QB.
Yeah.
Trading or holding AJ Dillon?
Yeah, just hold him.
I think you got to hold him. I think his price is going to increase in the offseason, especially because this offseason, the Packers have a decision to make about Aaron Jones.
They'll get rid of him.
So
Aaron
if
Jones
that were to happen,
35 and still there. And AJ Dillon, we're still going to be like AJ Dillon just next year.
it's just breaking out.
Yeah. What do we do with Kyle Pitts in Dynasty?
Hold him. It's all you can do.
You were supposed to sell him 3 months ago.
Well, but obviously since he's asking, he didn't, right? So, we could help people with hypothetical situations that don't exist or the ones that they're really in.
Might be trying to buy. He didn't say
I'm assuming he has
with
Pitts.
buying,
So
yeah.
I'm assuming you have Pitts if you're asking what do I do with him. So you just got to hold him.
I'm fine with buying if you don't have him.
12 teams to reflect Godwin and Ken Walker or Amon-Ra?
Brutal.
Amon-Ra.
Feels like it's breaking Amon-Ra into 2 pieces I don't really want. So I guess I would take Amon-Ra, but the value's about right.
I was going to say, I think I'd take Godwin and Kenneth Walker just for the
value's about right, to be honest.
Gibson owner, any chance he gets his rollback after more a bad? I don't think Robinson just showing up 6 weeks after being shot is a bad performance. Almost nothing.
Zero possibility. If they gave Brian Robinson more carries the week he came back after his shooting, and he still averaged more yards per carry than Gibson.
Didn't he have 3 times as many carries as
Gibson?
9-3.
If they gave Brian Robinson this version in week 1 after being shot 6 weeks ago, 3 times the carry of Antonio Gibson, there is no possibility that Antonio Gibson gets the rollback. They're committed.
I do think there's a possibility, and that possibility relies on Ron Rivera being fired, which could happen.
That's true. Rephrasing
that is
Ron Rivera has made up his mind that Brian Robinson is his starter. If Ron Rivera is fired, well, then that could change. But Ron Rivera's mind, this coaching staff's mind, is made up. Brian Robinson is their starter, and there's 0 doubt.
I will say, Antonio Gibson, based on trades I saw in the Trade Finder since Sunday, Antonio Gibson is a buy in Dynasty.
I guess,
dude.
How bad are we talking?
Let me pull him back up here because I saw this is all for a video tomorrow that I was looking at all these. Okay, so someone traded Leonard Fournette and Geno Smith in a 10-team Superflex for a 23 first and third and Antonio Gibson.
But that has nothing to do with Antonio Gibson. That has to do with the first. Gibson is just a throw in.
Exactly, though. Somebody traded Khalil Herbert for Antonio Gibson and Curtis Samuel. Eno Benjamin, Nico Collins, and Terrace Marshall for Antonio Gibson and Zamir White. Hunter Renfrow for Antonio Gibson.
I'd rather have Renfrow.
Gabe Davis and Hunter Henry for Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas, and a 24 first.
Yeah, but see, almost all of these, it's not Gibson. It's the other big piece in the trade that I want.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Gibson's being thrown in. This is.
But I guess if that's what you're saying, you can throw him into a deal. But I don't
Myles Gaskin and Tyler Boyd for Gus Edwards and Antonio Gibson.
I guess I could go for that. I have to think about it though.
Like
Would you
that's where we're
trade
at.
Dobbins for a late 23 first?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Yep. DJ Moore plus a 23 mid to late first or DeAndre Swift?
Swift.
Get Swifty. Swift. Okay, wait. Oh, Swift plus a 23 first, late or Brees Hall?
Swift.
Wow. You can turn Hall into Swift and a first. Do that.
Swift.
Wow. Costi wants to know if we trade young stud running backs when we're on a rebuild.
Yes.
If you get a good return.
For
Bingo.
young
then
stud wide receivers.
It's not a, yeah, I think, and Eric says that for stud wide receivers, I would. I think there's a mindset that I think a lot of the dynasty analysts just say trade running backs away for like whatever. I don't want running backs. I don't want young stud. Like that's not like it like Tyler said, it depends on what you get back. And yes, I think this is what you want to be looking for right here. Wouldn't buy Swift for that, but also wouldn't sell Swift for that personally. Bruh, Ron Rivera is toxic. Yeah. I don't want Wentz either, but Deontay or Najee in Dynasty?
Najee. Barely.
It's still Najee.
Yeah. And with that, we are done. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. DynastyLeagueFootball.com. Make sure you are signed up. You're checking out everything that's going on over there, all the articles, all the great things that we have. Make sure that you also are checking out our Discord channel. Find the link. That has been a lot of fun over there on the Discord. Lots of great conversations. Tyler, Addison, these guys are great. Make sure you're following them. Follow me. And any last words from you guys?
I really
Thanks,
hope
y'all.
I feel better next week.
Like the video. Make Addison run more laps.
No.
Yes. Addison will do